So even though there isn't like one set way to play the game, I mean, you could run 5 Vipers and have a good game for sure.
Wait, Viper's viable?
Yeah, for sure, 100%.
Okay.
She's extremely strong right now.
Thank you.
But she is complicated. Like you need to really change the way you play, and people don't want to put that time in, you know. So yeah, you'll probably see Viper on a map or two of ours coming up.
Yeah, I think, and you mentioned we did earlier. He did some really great stuff with Viper. That, especially on Bind. That I remember when Mike and I were doing a lot of some demo analysis. We were very impressed by some of the dynamics that we saw that are unique to Viper. That were like, holy shit, this is actually very strong, and this is unique to Viper. But we don't see it because no one plays Viper, so people are not finding all of these advantages in the way that you can. But I remember Steele brought up an interesting point when we spoke to him a couple of weeks ago, where he said that, you know, Viper's an interesting one because with Viper, you need Viper to live. Like Viper must stay alive in the round. And if you're, you know, running a Cypher as well, you know, Cypher similarly needs to survive throughout the entire round. So you've got an issue in terms of, as you said, like you have to change the dynamic as to how you play to really accommodate how to fit that into a structure that makes sense.
Yeah, I think Viper is more of a sentinel than anything else. I don't know what they call the smokers in the game.
Controllers, I think.
Controllers, right? Yeah. I wouldn't consider her a controller. I think she's more of a deady anchor for sites, and in turn, she becomes like a lurker on T side or on attacking side because she needs to stay alive and she can work so much of the map by herself. But I think like Cloud9's a really good example. Tyson Ten's had a lot of good Viper tech that he wanted to use, but I think the team just didn't have the structure at the time. I don't know if it was
40.
Yeah, I don't know if it was in their like server work or their lack of a coaching staff or whatever, but they just couldn't make it work to win tournaments. So he swapped off of it and went into the duelist role, which is appropriate for him because he's a motherfucking duelist. Yeah, but so I think you can make any character work. I mean, we could still swap Brim for Omen on most maps and make it work. Yassine would love to play Brim again, but you know, it's more about like finding what's ideal and then really using your communication skills to make it work.
Yeah, I remember playing Cloud9 in it was right after beta, right? And I don't know, Tens was scrimming us with Viper a lot on Bind, and watching him do some of the stuff he did was really interesting. It was like the first time I got to see Viper used like competently.
Yeah, it was annoying. It's just stuff we hadn't seen before, so it was like, okay.
Yeah, you'd be in A site and like a little green ball would fall into the bomb site, and you're like, what is that? And it pops and just like smoke all of a sudden.
Yeah, especially. Oh, go ahead.
I was gonna say, I feel like her snake bite doesn't suck anymore as well, which is kind of
it's really strong.
A game changer if you're a Viper player out there. Shout out to like the 7 people in matchmaking.
Yeah, that's the crazy thing with Viper because so few people are playing her. It's kind of like initially when you have something that's very strong, like let's say the whole jet dynamic with the one-way smokes, and you know you get an operator and you take risky angles and you dash. Like everyone's just doing that gimmick, and there's very few people that are thinking, what other stuff can I do to kind of push the envelope in terms of innovating tactically what that agent can do? Because why would you do that? It's opportunity cost. These things are where I should spend my time. I felt like, you know, that's happened with a lot of different agents, and with I think one-way smokes is like such a big one. It's like, especially with Viper, for example, there's so many one-ways which if a player sees that one way, it's just very, very obvious how you play against it. And it's just doesn't really have much value. And that smoke is very good. So I am waiting for people to figure out the snake bite, similarly as I've been seeing more developments from the smoke, because the radius is huge. And if people know lineups and you're wanting to like retake sites, and as you say, like let's say you save the toxic screen and you're playing the anchor on a site, and you're playing retake, Viper's toxic screen plus the snake bites are pretty immense in terms of taking position and angles away. I can't think of another agent that can do that in that way. So it's kind of cool, the possibilities. I can't wait to see what teams come up with Viper.
Yeah, I think another thing. So like one interesting piece of tech that we like to use a lot is the fact that Viper makes the Phantom like the best rifle you can use because
Ooh,
of
yeah.
the decay on her orb. So a lot of teams trying to execute and pop in this game because, I mean, our team memes all the time that this game rewards aggression. We say that all the time during scrims. Kind of as a joke, but it's definitely true. So teams like to pop a lot, and if you pop through an Omen smoke, nothing happens. If you pop through a Viper smoke, everyone is one-shottable now with a Phantom, which takes away any advantage the Vandal had over the Phantom. So that's just like one little thing that Viper can add, and all agents have stuff like that. You know, it's just about putting in the time and effort to figure it out with as a team.